What are you looking forward to most about your senior season?
Obviously, it's a state championship ring. We're ready to take our guys to the next step and get a ring for this school, for this town, just for everybody around here.
Tonight, the race for state begins.
I told our guys on Monday, like, this is it. I mean, this is our chance. So that's why we lift all those weights.
2 wins away from a state title a year ago, the Augusta Christian Lions roar for more.
Everything we did was preparing for this moment. I mean, preparing for November, preparing for this run in these final 3 games.
For the first time ever, the playoffs come to Game Night Live.
It's really just about whatever it takes to get it done.
Welcome to Game Night Live. WJBF Sports presents local high school football live in your living room each Friday night. Game Night Live is powered by McDonald's. I'm loving it. And now your hosts, John Hart and Ashley Brown.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Pride Valley as the Augusta Christian School Lions run onto the field, hosting the first round of the SCISA playoffs. John Hart is out celebrating a Braves World title tonight down in Atlanta. Joining me is Matt Lane in the studio, and down on the field we'll have Chad Cook and Matt. Augusta Christian, your old stomping grounds.
Yeah.
Matt was, of course, an outstanding player here at Augusta Christian before going on to play college ball.
Keep going. Keep going.
And Matt, tonight the Lions, they've got what they wanted, a home playoff spot. Now they got to take care of business against a very good Laurence Manning team.
Yeah, our first one. What a special season it's already been for them. Just kind of a scheduling very tough this year, but Augusta Christian doing an incredible job of picking up games, winning some ones we didn't know if they were going to win or not, or they were not favored in if you were to put a favorite out. So just a special season with an exclamation point tonight with a home playoff game.
Absolutely. And let's get to tonight Ford's keys to the game as the captains are about set to go out to midfield. And we'll start with the keys for Laurence Manning, the visitors. They've got to play physical tonight. That's one thing they've got to do. And then the second thing is, and it's kind of part and parcel to the first, that is do not let Zack Blackwell beat him. We'll be talking about him throughout the night. He is the outstanding running back for Augusta Christian. For the Lions, protect the football. Turnovers have been their Achilles heel. 15 interceptions they've thrown this year. They've got to protect the ball and then also play a full 48 minutes. They've had a lot of games where they've had a bad half here, a bad half there. You can't do that, first off, in a playoff game, Matt, and second, against like I said, a very game bunch. This team, Laurence Manning, went to the state championship game last year, losing to Hammond, so they know how to maneuver their way through the playoffs.
And we've kind of seen it a few times, just a quarter, just sort of a boring quarter. You sort of zone out a little bit. They are going to have to stay engaged in this game and keep applying pressure. And here's the thing, for Zack Blackwell, you're on plenty of film throughout the year as making the plays. This is where you separate yourself to be one of the best players in the state when they know it's coming and they still can't stop it.
All right, let's go down to the field for tonight's coin toss.
Number 34, Jake Hurt, and number 50, Wyatt Allman.
All right, guys. Laurence Manning, we're going to call you white all night. Augusta, we're going to call you red, okay? Help each other up. Get the ball to one of the officials. Don't leave it laying on the ground, okay? That's going to be tails. That's going to be heads. That's going to be tails. That's going to be heads, okay? I'm going to flip it in the air. I'm going to attempt to catch it. If I drop it, we'll do it again.
Yes, sir.
All right? Call loud enough so you can hear it, okay?
Yes, sir.
Ready?
Tails.
Tails is the call.
Tails is the call. It is a heads. You've won the toss. What do you want to do?
We don't want the ball. Defer.
You want to defer? All right. Augusta wins the toss. They're going to defer.
You want the ball?
Yes, sir.
Which end do you want to defend? All right, put your backs there. Face them.
Right here next to me. Face this way.
Augusta wins the toss. They're going to defer.
Christian wins the toss and will defer their decision.
Laurence Manning will receive. Going that way. Shake hands, guys. Good luck.
All right, there you go. Augusta Christian has deferred after winning the toss. They'll kick it off, and they'll do it when we come back. It's Game Night Live at Pride Valley, home of the Lions. And here we are, the kickoff, and we are underway, the South Carolina SCISA playoffs, as Augusta Christian's Gavin Hammond kicked it off, and there's Laurence Manning in white. And who else to make the tackle? Their leading tackler all season long, number 20, sophomore Wes Michelson. He has 78 tackles this year, and there he makes the stop on the kickoff. The return man was Thomas Sumter for Laurence Manning.
And they're going to have to fly around to the football. You saw right there, giving up a pretty good chunk of yardage on that kickoff return. A lot of folks in the same area. They're going to have to really spread out and make sure they don't give up any big plays, because, again, they can dictate this game on offense if they're able to establish a good run and can just completely control that clock.
22 yards on the return for Sumter. And the quarterback, he's coming in as his third year as a starter, and that's Tyler June. He wears number 1, and June's going to hand it off and trying to get to the outside, but real good job by Augusta Christian stringing that play out. And the ball carrier was number 14, Bryson Smith, and he's going to pick up short yardage.
Yeah, great job of getting to that sideline and making sure, because, again, that's the best defender of them all.
Adam Bussey was the man who made the tackle there. You see Bussey, one of the top receivers and a talented defensive player as well. An excellent student. He's got looks from a lot of the Ivy League schools. And there's Augusta Christian's defense set up here, and they're going to throw it. June rolling out, going to throw the ball, and it is caught. The catch made by number 22, Jackson Brown. And
just kind of the perfect offensive play call against the perfect defensive play call right there. A good blitz from Augusta Christian, but really already rolling to the right, able to dump it off to his receiver.
Matt was making note to me before the play, number 23 in red at defensive end. Yeah, he's a big fella. He's a standout on the basketball team for Augusta Christian, and he's also an outstanding football player, really coming into his own this year, Luke Wilson. And we'll talk about that defense here in a moment. As they throw a pass, it's batted down, and there he is again. That is Wes Michelson. We'll be calling his name a lot. He is a talented sophomore. He was the defensive player of the game the last time we had Augusta Christian on, and he had a great game that night against Richmond Academy. Leads the team in tackles, as I mentioned. He's got some other guys right there with him. Number 34, Jake Birch, has 68 tackles, and Zack Blackwell, the do-everything linebacker, running back, number 3, has 55 tackles coming into tonight. So they've got the football just shy of the 45 at the 46. Second down. And this time June's going to keep it, and he's going to pick up about 3. There's a flag down. One thing Augusta Christian, maybe it's not talked about a lot around the CSRA, but the folks that support this team know it. They think they've got one of the best linebacking corps in all of the CSRA.
Well, just very aggressive and obviously great size, but it's that aggressive factor that really separates it. Not afraid of contact, not afraid to push the offensive player back into the play.
In the back, you can either have it here, third down.
And the referee talking to Augusta Christian head coach Stickle there, and Andy Stickle in his first year at Augusta
Lock
Christian
in the back
on
the offense.
8-2.
10 yards from the spot. Replay second down.
So the penalty will back Laurence Manning up all the way back to the 46-yard line. So
second down and 20.
Second down and 20 for the Swamp Cats of Laurence Manning. Augusta Christian, we had them on earlier this year when they knocked off public school Richmond Academy, and that's when people started to take a little notice at this team. And they have had a superb year. Last week on senior night, they found themselves in a struggle with Ben Lippen, but ended up putting 56 on the board in a 56-40 win. Here's a deep pass. Oh, and he had his man. He overthrew it a little bit, but he had him open.
Had him open. That one, we'll see if it comes back to bite him right there. Really perfectly called against that Augusta Christian defense. Just not able to locate it when he looked it up, but it actually fell right beside him. So Augusta Christian getting lucky there. Looked like they were going to maybe try to throw a short screen to the left side. A lot of times you'll see it develop as such, but right there, going for it all and going downfield.
Well, third down and 20 here for June and company. Nolan Osteen is in the backfield. He's the leading returning rusher from a year ago. He's a big old kid. Well, short in stature, but he's pretty thick. And, a bobbled snap. June's going to throw it, and it's overthrown, tipped, and it's going to be incomplete. Adam Bussey was on the coverage. And it'll be 4th and 20, and Laurence Manning will have to punt it away. So Augusta Christian, with the help from a penalty, gets a stop on defense.
Yeah, a couple of things to work on, but just a terrific defensive stand there, not giving up that big play, and showing the offense that the defense can stand up and not let them go down the field and score a touchdown on that opening drive.
Well, back deep for Augusta Christian, Adam Bussey and Mikkel Sullivan. And the ball's going to bounce. It takes a great Laurence Manning bounce all the way down inside the 15. And that is where they will spot it, right at the 15-yard line. So Augusta Christian, their offense will take over here, 1st and 10. And the Lions have used 2 quarterbacks this year. The starter is Jeb Bradford, and he had a really tough time with turnovers this year. Bradford last year so good with 18 touchdowns and 3 picks. This year, 15 interceptions and 7 touchdowns. So they made a switch at quarterback, and they brought in Grayson Booker. And it's a 39-yard punt, by the way.
And especially now, you know, the interceptions being one thing, but having them deep in your own territory are really what hurts you, because you give that chance of a pick 6, and that can really set you back.
And Grayson Booker has, in just 43 attempts, has 7 touchdowns, but he has yet to throw a pick, and that's the difference. He's been protecting the football, and he's in there to start as the first carry goes to Blackwell.
They have a couple players that can, you know, hit a home run, so to speak, so they just have to make sure they don't turn the ball over in the air and also on the ground. Blackwell pretty good at holding on to that ball, but you obviously want to save him as much as you can if you need him at the end of the game.
Well, here he goes. Blackwell on the move, and he is one of the top backs in the state in that Skeezer rank, and over 1,700 yards rushing this year. He's had 3 straight 1,000-yard seasons, 2 straight 20-touchdown seasons, and he's closing in on some crazy numbers career-wise. I know Chad Cook, our sideline reporter, will have some on that later tonight. It's a fairway forward 1st down for the Lions. A great run up the middle. Good hole open by the line for Zack Blackwell.
A little bit cooler now than the last time we saw him when playing both ways. Got a little tired. We'll see if that helps him out.
They're going deep, and the ball is overthrown.
Like they had a little miscommunication there on who was supposed to run what.
Yeah, it looked like Sullivan cut his route off, and I think that's who they were trying to go to. But the ball overthrown. Good arm, though. As you can see, Booker can throw it. He's been in this program for 4 years and getting his chance, or for 3 years, excuse me. He's a junior. But as a freshman, he was the backup. And then they had Jeb Bradford transfer in last year, and Bradford won the starting job and had a great season. Here's Blackwell. Bradford, we may see him tonight. Bradford, by the way, is an outstanding baseball player. He's already committed. He's a junior. He's already committed to the College of Charleston in baseball.
James Olden also in on the stop for the swamp pass. 3rd down and 6.
What a perfect night for Game Night Live here at Augusta Christian. Playoff action, our first ever playoff broadcast.
The year where a lot of arrangements had to be made. We're very excited that this one was able to happen.
For sure. And here's Booker looking to throw. Brooker, his pass is caught by Bussey. Bussey makes the first man miss.
And right there, those are the type of plays that they're going to have to complete to open up that running game, and even to be able to throw the ball downfield like they tried a few plays earlier. But that's going to be such a help for them running the football if they can open up that middle a little bit. Because Blackwell, once he gets about 5 steps, he's going to get probably 6 yards after the first contact at least.
Well, that's Bussey's 41st catch of the season. He transferred in this year from Augusta Prep. And now they pitch it off to Bussey. He's got some blockers in front. Bussey, he's drugged down from behind. Nice play made by Jordan Reed, number 53 for the Swamp Cats.
Yeah, right there, they really played that well, because that one could have really hurt them. They had 2 lead blockers that were unattended, kind of working their way up, and just a terrific play to stop a big play from happening.
So Laurence Manning trying to slow down this high-powered offense from Augusta Christian. Grayson Brooker at quarterback, the junior, number 18, with Zack Blackwell in the backfield with him. And Blackwell with a head of steam. Blackwell cut to the outside. The defender falls down. Blackwell to the 5, and he's going to go out of bounds inside the 10. Let's see where they mark him out. Big run there, and yes, they are in the Augusta Disposal red zone.
And just everything working for Augusta Christian on offense so far, really able to mix up the pass and the run. And those are the type of runs that you want. Obviously, you want a long run. You don't want them getting banged up on getting hit a lot on 2-yard gains, stuff like that. So very efficient for Augusta Christian on offense so far.
Well, he is approaching a huge milestone, And he's going to get the handoff here. And he is going to be down to about the 1 or 2. So Blackwell with another good carry.
Stop by number 20, R.J. Bay.
We'll see what they elect to go with here. I got a decent idea. I think I know who's going to get the ball.
Yeah, I think I do too. And this is I'd say milestone. He's got a chance to reach some big milestones tonight. I won't give them all away because I know Chad has been working hard on getting some info as well. But let's see if he does get it here, because if he goes in the end zone, this would be one of those milestones we talked about. And Blackwell does get it. And he's going to be stopped, though. Good job by the Swamp Cats up front.
And if you're Augusta Christian getting down here, you gotta figure out how to take this last step. Again, even if it's going away from some of the beef that Laurence Manning has in the middle, figuring out a way to get that 1 yard, even if you run something a little unorthodox, whether you hike it to Blackwell or just get the ball to him a little bit quicker, he can get his momentum going before the defensive line and linebackers have a chance to really plug that middle for Laurence Manning.
James Olden, number 65, in on that tackle. And now they got an I formation here. We hadn't seen that earlier. And they're going to pitch it to Blackwell. Blackwell cuts it back, and he is into the end zone. And, folks, Augusta Christian is on the board. It is 6-0, and that 6-0 is important because that is career touchdown number 60 for Zack Blackwell.
Wow.
And you see on our Busby's instant replay, Busby's heating and air, they pitch it, but he saw a little hole and cuts back and gets into the end zone easily.
For those at home that have never seen that play before, it's called a toss sweep. They used to run it all the time.
Yeah, it's new.
Technically, it's a throwback play.
That drive, by the way, 10 plays, 85 yards, and it took 4 minutes and 39 seconds off the clock. And the extra point is up. It is good by Nathaniel Willis. And just like that, Augusta Christian goes down to score. We'll take a timeout, and we will be back with more Game Night Live from Pride Valley with the Lions on top 7-0. And we are back here on a gorgeous night. A little chilly, a little nip in the air. It's football weather, Matt Lane.
Yes, sir, indeed. And Augusta Christian recently redoing the field. Looks terrific. Just a wonderful little, right off Bastion Road, right here in Martinez.
You wouldn't know it's even back here, and it's just a little piece of heaven in here for sure.
And I love stadiums like this. Aquinas is sort of the same way. You can't see it off the road. You go back there, and all your friends are back here watching a great high school football game.
Well, right now, Augusta Christian has the start they were looking for. They stopped the Swamp Cats on their first possession. Really didn't give up a whole lot at all, just one little screen pass. And then they take it, and they go 83 yards for the score, and 10 plays and 85 yards, and 8 up some clock as well. So terrific start for the Lions. They lead at 7-0 here on Game Night Live. And this is the first time we've called his name. He was the leading rusher, and you see what I mean? He's like a Bronco bull in there. He's only about 5'7", but he weighs about 200 pounds. And that is Nolan Osteen.
Yeah, definitely did not miss pregame dinner for sure.
No, absolutely not.
Just a big
barreling
back.
I know when the season started, one thing he said, Coach, I'm going to need a bigger pair of pants.
Yeah. Might have changed a couple times during the year, but those are the ones that are so hard to tackle. It's so frustrating.
And now he's the lead blocker as they do a little jet sweep, and they're going to pick up nice yards here as well. That was number 7, Bryce Accord.
And we'll keep an eye out. Laurence Manning already showing they're not afraid to run a couple of trick plays, and maybe not even necessarily a trick play, but something that they've run throughout the season. And you can fake that and set up that long pass. I would venture to say that we're going to see a lengthy pass here pretty soon as they feel they can get behind those secondary players from Augusta Christian.
Yeah, and there's a handoff to Osteen again, and there he goes. Hard to bring down as those linebackers from Augusta Christian make the stop, but not before he gets up to about the 46. And Tyler June has shown he can throw the football, the quarterback, and he did have a receiver deep behind the defenders earlier in the game. You're right. So
just kind of lost it in the lights.
Yeah, wouldn't be shocked if he goes back to that again. And it's second down and about 6. Long 6, maybe 7. Man in motion. And now June's going to keep it. trying to get to the outside, but nowhere to go, and there's going to be a holding flag down. I don't have – number 44 was called for the hold, and this might be the only night he's happy he's not on the roster because he's we're not going to be able to call his name for that hold. He was trying to hold the big fella, Luke Wilson, the extremely tall defensive end. In basketball, they listed him at 6'9". I don't know exactly if he's 6'9", but he's pretty close.
Well, so I'll let you in on a little secret.
Yeah.
And I know you did the same thing. You're not going to lie to me. When I was a freshman, I played basketball.
Yes.
And you have the media guy.
Hold on the off.
I told everybody I was 6'3".
Replay second down.
As a freshman. I am 6 foot. It's something every single high school program does it.
Every college program does it too.
Yeah.
Charles Barkley was listed at 6'6" his whole career. He's probably closer to 6'3".
Yeah,
6'3", 6'4". So Tyler June and his team, second straight possession that they've been backed up with a penalty.
And if you're Laurence Manning, they had the guys open. They were able to run those receivers down and get open. I'm just surprised they're not taking more gambles, as you see right there. I think you're going to see a lot more of that. They think they can find a little hole in the pressure from Augusta Christian and be able to eat up some of this yardage.
Well, Brandon King, good-looking receiver there, makes the catch, a nice route.
You see he's got a knee brace on there.
Yeah. So it is 3rd and about 8. Ball is on the Augusta Christian side of the field there. You see about 48-yard line. And they're going to try to draw the lines off. Now they're reconsidering things. Augusta Christian on top on a short Zack Blackwell touchdown run. They're going to throw it. Now he's going to running for his life, and they're going to get him. Zack Blackwell, the first man to him, is Tyler June, unable to throw it, and really couldn't go anywhere either.
Well, and all the receivers were so far down the field, not knowing that they needed to try to get open for their quarterback, but Blackwell and company doing a great job of eliminating that time that the quarterback had to possibly even get rid of the ball with a great play.
So they will punt it for the second time tonight. Their first punt was 39 yards. Bussey and Sullivan back deep for the Lions. This time they get through the line and had a chance to maybe get a block there, but they do get the punt off. And it's another great punt. And this one's going to roll even further than the other punt. This is going to go all the way down to the 12-yard line.
Just outside the 10-yard line, there's a penalty flag on the play.
So there is a flag down. That punt, a terrific punt, second straight. Last time, though, Augusta Christian went 85 yards. That one's 42 yards, so he's averaging over 40 yards a kick now, 40 and a half.
I got block in the back on the receiving team. Penalty being enforced half the distance from the end of the kick.
So
First down.
Then you add on the half the distance to the goal, and Augusta Christian's going to be backed up to their own 6-yard line.
And again, as great as they looked on their offensive run there last series, it can change so quickly when you're this deep in your territory. Just the smallest mistake.
Well, folks, while we got a moment, let's tell you about our friends from McDonald's. If you haven't already, you need to get their app. It is incredible. You can get some free fries from the folks at McDonald's. It's My Rewards app from McDonald's. You can collect rewards points throughout to win, to get free food. And, of course, I always tell you, it's my stop at home each Friday night after the games. McDonald's, I'm loving it. So they're going to hand it off a different back this time, and that is number 16. Now, this is a kid that they are very high on. He is a freshman by the name of Dallas Carter, and they think he is going to be something special here. By the way, they've got another kid named Aaron Gregory. He is the nephew of William Avery, and he is one of the top-rated for his class 2026 receivers in the country. Had a chance to meet his mom before the game. And they got some good young talent in here. And Dallas Carter, they're very high on. Here's Carter again. Carter for the season, for a freshman, 59 carries, 360 yards, and 5 touchdowns. And the football team doing well. And, folks, football season is winding down. We are in the playoffs. If you want to see something, a talented group, you might want to come watch the Augusta Christian basketball team this year because they were state runners-up last year, and they got better. They had some kids transfer in. You throw that with, Elijah Crawford coming back, and then they've also got the big fella on the football team, Wilson. They're going to have a good basketball squad. Here's Blackwell. Big hole to the right. Blackwell on the move, and he's going to pick up some nice yardage along that right side. Picked up about close to 10, didn't he, there?
Shot made by number 7, Bryce Accord. Blackwell picks up the first down, AC.
So Blackwell with a nice pickup there. That was for 11, so he has 81 yards on the night already. This time Brooker's going to keep it.
Grayson Brooker on the run. Number 7, Bryce Accord on the stop. There's a penalty flag on the play.
Closing seconds here of the first quarter. 46 seconds left. Augusta Christian. They're going to be called for a holding here, as you heard the official.
Holding on red. Be 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Still first down.
So they'll back the Lions up. And the ball will now be just outside the 10-yard line. First down for Augusta Christian. Ball at the 12.
First down.
So first and about 21.
And 21 for the Lions.
Brooker looking to throw. Screen pass, Blackwell, and it's covered nicely by the Swamp Cats.
A good job of getting what he could get. Because right there, just not a lot of chance for him to really make anything of that.
So that'll back them up to the 9. So they're going to have second down and about 24 here. There
Looks like they're going to take it to the second quarter here.
Yeah, going to let the clock run out. Well, Augusta Christian got a start that they wanted here tonight in Pride Valley as they lead it. The Skeeza playoffs underway. The Lions on top of Laurence Manning. Your score 7-0. We'll be back with more first half action on Game Night Live in a moment. Back on the campus of Augusta Christian, where the Lions take an early 7-0 lead here, starting the second quarter of the first round of the South Carolina Independent School Association playoffs. And here is Zack Blackwell with another nice run. This is going to get him up near the 20. And with that, let's go down on the field for our first Augusta Auto Auction sideline report with Chad Cook.
So, guys, with that big run by Zack Blackwell a couple runs ago, 11-yard run, put him over 5,000 yards in his 3 seasons of varsity football here at Augusta Christian. Well, last season, in this game, quarterfinal playoff game against Trinity, Augusta Christian went down 28-7 at halftime. Zack injured his shoulder trucking a guy in the first quarter, had to go back to the locker room. Well, he told Coach Andy Stickle at halftime that I can run the ball and I can block, but I can't tackle anybody. He came out in the second half, ran for a touchdown on the first series. Augusta Christian made a huge comeback, 136-35, and on the last series, Blackwell went back in on defense, made a big tackle for loss to stop Trinity on their final series, and it's just one of many things that he's done to be the best player here at Augusta Christian and one of the best players in our area by far.
All right, thanks a lot, Chad. Yeah, absolutely. 5,000 career rushing yards, 60 touchdowns, and he's not done yet. And earlier, the pass play while Chad was talking was a complete pass to the tight end, Christian Green, who made a nice catch. He was hit, Matt, right as he caught the football, but he was able to hold on.
Yeah, but going back to Blackwell, just a terrific career and just a terrific kind of what you want in a leader in the locker room, also on the football field, but just, that's the players it takes to make the deep runs. Obviously, talent's very important, but having that senior leadership, having people you can depend on week in and week out really sets the tone for the rest of your team.
Yeah, you have you have talented guys as the quarterback's brought down. You have talented guys. You have guys that work hard, and you have guys that have great attitudes. Zack Blackwell has all that, but he has the one thing some of them are missing. He loves it.
Oh, yeah.
He would play 24/7 if they let him, and his body would allow it. And Blackwell leading the way tonight. The Lions, first down and 5 on the run by the the penalty. Let's see, Brooker in the shotgun here. Looks like a blitz. It is. It's picked up. Blackwell with a head of steam and a blocker, and he kind of runs over his blocker's back. It's going to be a first down for the Lions. Fairway forward, first down.
Again, this is where Augusta Christian can be dangerous. If they can just get these runs, control the clock, really slow the game down. It's cold outside, so you leave that offense kind of standing on the sideline. You have to get back warmed up when you go out there. Yeah, nobody wants to get, and here's the secret, nobody really wants to get hit when you're cold. So if you've not been playing a lot, if you don't play both ways, it takes a couple of plays to get back in the game.
Yeah, in just a moment, we'll get our QBs by the quarter in for the first quarter. Brought to you by Culpeper Ace Hardware and Lumber Company in Evans. And for Laurence Manning, their quarterback Tyler June, 2 of 5 passing for 30 yards in the first quarter. And for Augusta Christian, Grayson Brooker was 3 of 4, but he only got 12 yards out of that. And that's your QBs by the quarter, brought to you by Culpeper Ace Hardware and Lumber Company in Evans. And the ball near midfield now as the Lions on the move again. Remember, this drive started way back inside their 10 at the 6-yard line. Here's the handoff to Blackwell. Blackwell made a man miss. Now he breaks to the outside. He's on the roof. Blackwell across the 40 down to the 39.
And a 15-yard difference right there if Laurence Manning is able to make that initial tackle, and even before he did the little side move to get upfield and get that extra yardage. For Laurence Manning, it's going to be a long night if they're not able to tackle him in that backfield.
Yeah, we said that was the key. Don't let Blackwell beat you. Well, he's almost at 100 yards already. He might be over 100. We'll get an update on that. He is over 100 yards, according to Nathan Edwards. Carter's in there now for him. The pass is complete. This is Sullivan. Mikkel Sullivan has really stepped up. They graduated some really good players last year. One of them was their best receiver, Jacob Walker. And Sullivan and Bussey have sort of combined to be that best, to put up those kind of numbers. That's the 40th catch of the season for Sullivan. And so Dallas Carter stays in there at tailback. He is the freshman that Coach Stickle and this staff very high on. And they're going to hand it to him, and this time he is drugged down. Great job getting in and getting some pressure there from Jordan Reed. The second time we called his name on a big play.
Yeah, able to explode through the offensive line there, not really giving their running back a shot. So obviously a passing down here for Augusta Christian.
Blackwell checks back in. 3rd down and 9. Ball at the 38-yard line. And Brooker they've got Green in motion. And they might have, and they may have just picked up 5 yards without doing anything. It is
Dead
on
ball.
the defense.
Encroachment on the defense. 5 yards, still 3rd down.
So now instead of 3rd and 9, it's 3rd and 4. Ball at the 33. It was Olden trying to get a jump there, number 65. Good-looking kid. They've got some playmakers. This team, they look like a ball club, and there's no doubt. There's no slouch here.
What a terrible time for a penalty.
Yeah.
They had Augusta Christian really backed up.
And Brooker's going to hand it off, and here's Blackwell, and Blackwell's going to ram his way forward for the first down. Now, he came down hard on his head. As you see the grass being pulled out by his teammates from his face mask.
But penalties like that really cost you, because now you give Augusta Christian the option to do whatever they want.
The epitome of what we were talking about. He hit his head on the ground. Carter's trying to come in for him, and he's waving him off.
Yeah.
I got this. And a fairway forward first down.
And really, this pace really works in Augusta Christian's favor. Again, just running the football, getting them to jump off sides, making it a possible. You could pass it or run it. They elected to run it, obviously. They've had so much success with that with Blackwell.
Well, their first drive was 10 plays for 85 yards. This is the 16th play of the drive. And here's Blackwell again.
Zack Blackwell on the run.
So that's
Stop made by number
26
19,
plays
Zack
already
Blackwell.
in just 2 possessions for Augusta Christian.
Yeah. And if you're Laurence Manning, the other stuff they're running, kind of the magician where you look at one hand and he's doing the stuff with the other.
Yeah.
If they don't really zero in on Zack Blackwell here and make Augusta Christian beat them any other type of way, really missing out here, because you're even seeing them respect some of this other stuff they have going on, receivers going in motion and doing all that stuff.
We made that a key to the game.
Yeah.
It didn't take a rocket scientist to know you can't let Blackwell run wild, and that's what he's done so far in this game. And here he goes with another open hole. Blackwell makes a man miss at the 15, down to the 10. He is down to the 9.
Tackled by number 2, Brandon
They are
King. Blackwell
moving the
picks up
football.
a first down, AC.
And really, Blackwell is able to get this yardage again, especially if they go on to win this game and are able to move through the playoffs. The receiver's really going to have to do a great job blocking downfield, because Blackwell's not going to be able to do it himself each round you keep going to. When you advance, definitely playing against better competition.
Yeah, they fake it this time, and here goes Brooker. Brooker looked like he might have a shot at the end zone, but good job in pursuit by the secondary for Laurence Manning. That was Brandon King, number 2, and Bryce Accord, number 7, coming over to make that tackle.
Lions keeping them honest a little bit. Obviously,
Yeah, and you have to, and I wouldn't be surprised if you fake that and then let the quarterback throw the football. The reason Brooker protects the football, and that was their problem early on in the year, just turnovers really killing this team. When you got a back like Blackwell, you just don't turn it over, and you're going to score a lot of points. So here they go. They're going to throw it. Brooker looking, throws it. Got a man, touchdown. It's Mikael Sullivan, his 8th receiving touchdown of the year, and a good job by the quarterback to buy himself some time scrambling.
Well, and that's exactly what you just said. Maybe they should try to throw it some, especially down in the red zone, really keep that Laurence Manning defense honest, and a terrific play, keeping the motion going. Good play action fake, moving around a little bit.
Great scramble, yeah.
Just fine, and it's just making plays. It doesn't always have to be the perfect throw.
Yeah.
It's not always about what the ball looks like. It's about making plays, and he made one right there.
All right, so now a second extra point attempt. 18 play, 94-yard drive that ate up 9 minutes and 35 seconds. Wow, that is a coach's dream. And the Lions lead it 14-0 here at Pride Valley. And we are back on the campus of Augusta Christian. And my, oh my, what a start for the Lions. 14-0. They've only had the ball twice, but they've eaten up nearly 17 minutes on the clock with a 10-play drive and then an 18-play drive. I've never heard of an 18-play drive.
Well, and this last one went on so long.
Yeah.
If you're sitting in the crowd, you kind of look out and go, are we still on offense?
Here's the thing, Matt.
At 94 yards, that's so impressive.
There's 4:49 left. If Laurence Manning keeps it the entire time, they will double their time of possession, because they've only had it 4:55 so far in this game. The Lions have just dominated time of possession. And Tyler June, the quarterback.
And for Laurence Manning, really, a sense of urgency is really needed here.
Yeah.
Because, again, they've got some playmakers to make the plays, but
And
really got to put their foot on the gas.
And here's Osteen up the middle, and he's going to pick up some good yardage. He's just hard to bring down. That kid is strong.
On the run. Stop made by number 18, Grayson Brooker.
So Brooker, the quarterback, in on the tackle there. And Birch in there as well. We mentioned Birch coming into the game with 68 tackles, second on the team behind Wes Michelson. And I think they're giving Blackwell a little bit of a breather here, because he's third on the team in tackles and also is approaching 2,000 yards on the season. There's a little counter play there to number 22.
Number 22, Jackson Brown on the run.
Jackson Brown with the carry.
Stop made by number 44, Ben Bates.
So Birch will come out, and Blackwell will check in.
Wiley also on the stop.
Third and about 2.5, maybe 2. Yeah, Nathan pointing out, man, a 3 and out here would be devastating. You just give the ball right back to Augusta Christian's offense. with a chance to score again before the half. So Tyler June looking to draw something up here to get at least 2 yards, maybe 2.5 for the first down. They give it to Osteen. Osteen's going to pick it up on the second effort. Still keeping his legs churning.
And getting first downs, certainly, obviously that's the goal, but really the clock's continuing to run.
Number 20, West
They're at
Michaelson,
midfield
number
with
33,
a little over
Edward
3
Thompson,
minutes left, but still I don't know that they're going to get there just running the football.
The T-Mobile student section and the Augusta Christian cheerleaders out here braving the cold.
Yeah.
By the way, incredible performance of the national anthem tonight by one of the Augusta Christian students. Wow. So Tyler June, 1st and 10, trying to get some points on the board for his Swamp Cats. They trail the Lions 14-0. He's going to roll out. Wilson, good job by the big defensive end. There you see him. He is very raw. Football is something kind of new to him, but, man, he's the potential that is there.
Well, and if there's a program, and I'm sure there's a couple of them, but if there's a team that's had success more than Augusta Christian, Calvin Taylor being a basketball player, similar in his build of just being ridiculously tall, very athletic, but also very raw.
And Taylor was the same way. He was a basketball guy that played football. He ended up going to Kentucky to play football, and heck, was in the NFL for a while. So, yeah, Wilson is a junior too, folks. So he's got a whole nother season left. And there's a pitch. This is like a big play for Laurence Manning, the best play of the night so far at least. That was number 14, Bryson Smith.
That was that big play we talked about they needed to really kind of kickstart their offense a little bit.
Yeah, they just
give them a little
flat.
excitement.
Yeah, just a little flat on offense.
Laurence Manning.
And the freshman there, Dallas Carter,
The ball is spotted at the Augusta
make the
Christian
tackle.
43-yard line.
The ball at the 43, 1st and 10 for Laurence Manning. This is a team that went all the way to the state championship game last year, losing to a team that they're going to name the championship game after them before too long, Ammon. Seems like they're in it every year and winning it every year. June dropping back, going to throw deep. He's got a man open, and he just overthrew him. He had him.
Tried to make a play on the ball. Almost had a one-handed catch.
That is Noah Tanner, and, man, that would have been a beautiful play. It was a beautifully thrown ball.
Just a little bit too much.
Just a little too much on it for Noah Tanner. That would have changed the complexion of the game a little bit. It'll be 2nd down now. Minute 51 to go here, first half. Don't forget, football Friday night. Checking out the action around the CSRA tonight with Brendan Robertson and Colin Cody. Nobody does it better. No more games covered, more footage, more action than right here with them on WJBF. Look at the move here is June. June going to scramble for big yardage. June to the corner, across the 30 and being brought down just shy of the 25 by the freshman Dallas Carter.
And a great play there on the little bit of a fake to just buy himself a little bit of room to get the middle of that field. And I would venture to say you're going to see a little bit more of that going in the football game, as he's a pretty good runner, especially when you can get the defense all spread out and you see right there has great awareness, cutting back and running.
Yeah, he's a good player. Nice tackle by the freshman there. He's a good player. He's got a good arm. He can run it. Right now, though, he is in a 14-0 hole. There's a good pass, complete. Oh, and Tanner broke a tackle. Tanner into the end zone. It's a touchdown for Laurence Manning on a 20-yard score, or 25-yard scoring strike, I believe.
And
so 25-yard TD.
And that's kind of what we saw glimpses of in the first drive, wondering why they felt so flat. But right there you see doing a terrific job, what you're taught to do, catch the ball and immediately get upfield.
Well, Carter's going to be kicking himself. He missed the tackle, and then he also kind of swung himself in front of Zack Blackwell to block him from making the tackle, and that allowed Tanner to pick up the necessary yards after the catch for the touchdown. So coming on to kick the extra point is number 10, Josh Sharp, one of the team captains. So an 8-play drive there for 65 yards, and they are on the board. Laurence Manning now trails 14-7. And we got about a minute and a half left here for the Lions to see if they can take it down and get another score. So far tonight, they've just been methodically moving the ball down the field. Now we'll see if they open it up a little bit and try and get a score before the half.
Yeah, you would think they're probably going to want to just take it to halftime. But like you said, we'll see. That last defensive stand there, a little bit worrisome, as Laurence Manning kind of showing their teeth a little bit on offense. They have some playmakers.
Yeah, showing they're not giving up, that's for sure. On the road, down 14-0. Your defense has been on the field the entire first half, and your offense steps up and gets a touchdown. So the Lions back deep for the Lions is, I believe that's Peyton Seeley, and Peyton Seeley can fly. He is a burner. Let's see if they kick it to him.
For the SWAT Cats. Sullivan and Peyton Seeley.
At halftime, we'll have all the stats from the first half. And we'll give you the quarterback info with our quarterbacks, QBs by the quarter. Got some interviews with some important folks. And here's a short kick, going to be fielded about the 15-yard line by Sullivan. Sullivan on the move. Sullivan across the 40. And Sullivan is going to be brought down or pushed out of bounds at the 43.
And perfect field position. Again, you got a choice. You can just get to halftime, or, and this is what I think they'll do, make a run at this thing and see if they can sneak a score in before the half.
About 28 yards on that return. And that does, like you said, give Augusta Christian pretty good field position. Let's see if they do try to take one deep. If their deep threat, averaging over 25 yards a catch this year, is Seeley. He doesn't have the number of catches as Sullivan and Bussey. And speaking of that, and after this play, we'll check in with Chad Cook on a little more on Adam Bussey. And they hand it off to Blackwell. Blackwell with a head of steam. Blackwell across midfield, and a flag is down. While the officials get that straight, let's go down for an Augusta Auto Auction sideline report and check in with Chad Cook.
Guys, that last drive, that touchdown drive by Laurence Manning, kind of foreshadows what we might see more of in the second half. Last week, Ben Lippen got out to a big lead against Augusta Christian, threw for over 300 yards. Kind of a surprise to Andy Stickle and the crew here. They put Bussey at free safety tonight. Coach Stickle said, hey, when you get down to this part of the season, you got to win the game. You got to put your best players on the field. So he hasn't been on defense consistently since the season opener. He's playing free safety. He almost got burned on that post pattern, and then they scored through the air on the last play. So we'll see how that works out in the second half for the Lions.
All right, thanks a lot, Chad. Nice run here. And another flag is down. That was Adam Bussey sort of right on cue, but another flag down. Second straight play with a nice run, but a penalty.
Yeah, getting back to where they just were. Again, still able to maybe get it in the end zone.
Yeah,
kind of keep that great momentum they have.
Bussey is a kid that, this year is kind of weird because I'm seeing a lot of kids that played against my son growing up, and Bussey was somebody we played against every other year, and he was a year older. And always a really good, solid football player on both sides of the ball. And like I said, an outstanding student. Ivy League schools showing plenty of interest. This flag, though, is going to bring Augusta Christian back once more. And now it gets to the point where maybe they do want to run this clock. But if you're Laurence Manning, if that's the case, you want to try and stop it some to try and maybe see if you can score.
All red. Be 10 yards in the spot. Replay first down. The clock will run on my ready for play.
Now this drive started at the 43, and now they are backed all the way up to the 30, or to the 30. So first and 23. Augusta Christian's big center, number 74, Caden Wood, leads that offensive line, and Brooker's going to throw it. Now he's going to run with it. Brooker trying to get to the outside here. Nice run by Brooker. He goes out of bounds.
So around back where we started.
Yeah, gets up to the 46.
And kudos to him. He's got to be tired. He just ran about almost 100 yards the last two plays.
Well, it was first and 23, and now they need about 7, maybe 8 to get the first down.
Well, in this play, you really have to set up if you really want to try to take a shot at it, because you're working against the clock if you run the ball and you get tackled inbounds. you don't get that first down. So got to keep that in mind.
Augusta Christian with a lead, but trying to add to it here. They hand it to Blackwell. Blackwell looking for running room. Now he makes a man miss, and look at that, running over defenders. Wow. Well,
as the clock stops, as they reset the chain, so right now Augusta Christian kind of in full go mode here, and we'll see if they.
Augusta, our hit of the game could be from an offensive guy. Just wow, right there. Blackwell absolutely annihilating the defensive back.
Well, it's bad enough when you have to tackle that guy, much less when an offensive lineman gives him a little bit of a push.
Here's a reverse to Bussey. Bussey with some running room and a blocker. And Bussey is going to be out of bounds at the 35. That'll stop the clock with 22.6 to go. And the ball is going to be, they mark it at the 35-yard line.
The ball is just outside the Laurence Manning 35-yard line.
So Bussey, little trick play there. Everybody was following Blackwell, and he hands it back to Bussey going the other direction. 22.6 for the Lions. See if they try to hit one with Sullivan. Brooker is going to look to throw it, and he's going to pitch it off to one of his shorter receivers. That's Green, and Green did get out of bounds with 14.1 left.
What a heads-up play.
Yeah.
I mean, those are the type of plays for defense that drive you crazy because you have everybody guarded well, everybody's in good position, but it's hard to – quarterbacks is the unaccounted for man. He can run the ball, he can pass the ball, and when you're able to make decisions like that, almost like a great point guard, you're able to really distribute the ball. It's so frustrating for defense because you feel like you did your best, but it's just never going to be enough.
Second catch of the night for Christian Green. Let's see if they take a shot deep here. You got probably 2 or 3 plays. They're going to throw one deep. They got a man down there. He's wide open, touchdown. It's Mikael Sullivan, his second score of the night in Met. How do you let him get that wide open knowing what was the situation?
Yeah, he's halfway in the end zone just kind of standing by himself, and you have 2 players that watched it happen, and you really wonder how, because you already have the sideline working in your favor.
It was almost like Brooker did a double take. He was so wide open thinking, did he run off from the sidelines or something?
Yeah.
Wide open. That is Sullivan's 9th touchdown catch of the season. He leads the team.
And again, the safety, you're kind of looking at everything happen right in front of you. And very surprising they were able to, but give Augusta Christian credit, taking advantage.
And Willis's kick is up, and his kick is good. So with 8 seconds to go in the half, the Lions are on top, 21-7. They got the ball back with 1:50 to go, Matt, and we were wondering how would they play it? Would they be conservative? No, not at all. They used a nice kick return, and despite a few penalties, they were able to march down the field and get another score. So the Lions with a big touchdown to get their lead back to 14. And Laurence Manning with not a lot of time on the clock. You would assume this score will be a 14-point lead going to the locker room, and I'm sure Coach Andy Stickle is loving what he's seeing from his team, especially his offense tonight. They look like a well-oiled machine.
Well, and the play calling's terrific, just really switching things up. You know, right when you think you have to just concentrate on Blackwell, sort of like what we were talking about, because they were really running them pretty hard. Then you switch things up, you run them reverse, you run them with your quarterback, you're really putting them on skates when it comes to trying to figure out who's going to get the ball.
So Nathaniel Willis to handle the kickoff. And it's a little squib kick. Oh, and it's bobbled, and the Lions might have it. It was on the ground, and I think, nope, Laurence Manning got it back.
And we see those every once in a while. You know, it's like the longer little, it's a squib kick, but it's almost like just a long onside kick a lot of times.
Yeah, just bounce it out there and see if it takes a bounce your way, you know.
And people misplay it. Things can happen in your favor.
I would be surprised if they either take a knee or just hand it to Osteen. 5.3 left. You don't want to do anything. A turnover here and a defensive score would be disaster. So let's see if they try to do anything at all. Tyler June, the quarterback, with 5 seconds to go. And he is going to look to throw. He's in trouble, though. Michelson, and here comes Wilson. Wilson misses him. And June just throws it out of bounds. And there's a flag down.
And just sort of throwing it away. So right there.
So the penalty will not. It's a loss of down. It's not an untimed down coming up. So that's the end of the half. So they did call the intentional grounding. And that's going to do it, Matt. First half, the Augusta Christian School Lions had the ball 3 times. They come away with 3 touchdowns. A great first half for the Lions. And any final thoughts here before we go to hit the break?
Well, a terrific first half. I mean, 28 points, just a great way to start playoff football here in Pride Valley.
All right, we'll be back with the halftime festivities from Benjamin I. Colts. That's coming up right after the break. And we are back here at Pride Valley. Augusta Christian will be the recipient of the kickoff here after they won the toss and deferred. It's picked up. That's Sullivan. Sullivan was ahead of steam. He had a huge first half, and here he is again on the move. Mikael Sullivan. He had a 28-yarder that set up their final scoring drive. He caught 2 touchdown passes, and that is a big way to start the second half for the Lions.
Oh, and just excitement. And, again, kickoff to start the second half, everybody's sort of, we're going to pick up where we left off. Is it going to continue? Is anything going to be different? And right there, just a huge play for Augusta Christian.
32 yards on that return, so 60 return yards on 2 kick returns, 2 touchdown catches, 3 receptions. Yeah, I would say Mikael Sullivan's having a good night here on the opening night of playoff action in Skeeza. The quarterfinals, a win here and 2 more wins, and they're state champs, folks. Everybody in Skeeza, they're going to have their hands full with Hammond, the perennial powerhouse. But first things first, they got to take care of business with Laurence Manning. And the second half will start after that kick return with a penalty. So it'll back them up 5 yards and be 1st and 15.
Ball start on the offense. 5 yards, first down.
First and 15 for the Lions at the 50-yard line.
And Christian Green in motion. Here's Blackwell. Blackwell, who had a big first half. That puts him over 150 yards on the game. And he's also, if you weren't with us in the first half, he is over 5,000 career rushing yards, 60 touchdowns in his career. And he's approaching 2,000 yards for the season as well.
And, I mean, it just seems like he just gets 10 yards a clip anytime that he wants. Even if there's a lot of defenders around, he just puts his hand on his offensive lineman, reads their blocks, kind of looks at the defense.
He's patient when he needs to be, but when he needs to have that burst, it seems that he's got it.
Well, and for guys like that, you always, you got to learn how to play a little bit, softer at times. You can't just go in there and be a bowling ball and just kind of barrel through everybody. As you see right there, protecting himself a little bit.
Good
but always lands on his face. That's the most important thing for a runner.
And if you're wondering, he does have an offer from Charleston Southern to play running back. He's getting some interest. Even from the University of Georgia shown some interest as well. UAB, matter of fact, he was invited to a Georgia game earlier this season. UAB, Furman, Kennesaw State, among the schools showing some interest in Zack Blackwell. And
a lot of some really good players coming out of Augusta Christian. Tyler Robertson.
Oh, yeah.
Terrific
Absolutely.
quarterback.
Joel Winkter, great running back in the day. And, of course, our very own Matt Lane. Matt Lane, who went on to play at both Georgia Military and then at Valdosta State. And now he is to my left in the broadcast. What's it like coming back, though?
Oh, it's awesome. So many great memories here, and knowing that I went to another school before actually coming over to Augusta Christian, was not really into sports. Did not really wasn't really doing anything, just sort of going to school, which is fine. But when I got over here, at the time it was Keith Walton and Steve Price. This is before Charles Cooper came. But just somehow, I'd heard war stories and just bad stories about how bad football conditioning was. So I didn't want to do football. So what do? Somehow Keith Walton talked me into doing track, which makes no sense.
That's worse.
It's worse. And I go out there, meet some of my best friends now.
Yeah.
End up playing football, and you know your life's totally different. So it's all, you know, sports is a terrific tool. Obviously, it's great and it's fun to watch on TV and it's exciting, but it's such a great tool for young people to be able to kind of learn who they are and really
meet your
lifelong
friends, the camaraderie. I think that's as important as anything you get out of it. And here's Blackwell again.
And again, each and every person that I've ever interacted with here, just A+ people, still talk to them to this day. And then even now, not being closely affiliated with it, but what Les Walden's been able to do and achieve, and really just great leadership here. And Charles Cooper is the athletic director, just one of my favorite people. And
he's,
one
an
of the coolest.
He's an impressive guy.
He's just a fun guy who's very smart and just
perfect attitude for coaching, being around and coaching kids. And he was a former track athlete. And
he's still actually on the side here. He still holds a couple of those records.
Well, here's Blackwell. Speaking of records, that's touchdown number 61 of his career. 22 touchdowns on the season. And Augusta Christian now they hadn't put it away, but that is a 20-point lead for the Lions as we await the extra point.
And it just seems like after that kick return, Laurence Manning and you saw just a terrific block there, but just a little flat again. They showed this in the first half at times. Still not out of this thing, but the way they're playing on defense and not accounting for Blackwell is surprising.
Nathaniel Willis on to kick the extra point here as Augusta Christian strikes quick. The kick is up. The kick is good. The Lions lead it 28-7 here on Game Night Live. Playoff action in Skeeza, and the Lions look like they may advance if they keep this up. We'll be back. Game Night Live, we are back, and boy, Augusta Christian impressive tonight offensively. 4 possessions, 4 touchdowns, and this kick is going to roll down to the 1. It is picked up at the 1-yard line, so Laurence Manning will be pinned back deep. It was Jackson Brown who picked it up, and I don't know, he might have done the right thing because I don't know that ball wasn't going to stop right there. And if it dies right there, then, it's at the 1. So he did get it out a little bit. Now the Lions, though, three times they had it in the first half, they score, and they start the second half the same way with they got a great kick return from Steve Sullivan, and then Zack Blackwell finishes it off with a 20-yard touchdown run. And there you see Blackwell at middle linebacker. Wilson, Blackwell, and number 20, Wes Michelson. Birch, number 34, among the leaders on this defense. Michelson, just a sophomore, leads the team in tackles. He's right there on the left side of your screen, number 20. And Tyler June, the quarterback, and boy, he is going nowhere. Zack Blackwell in there along with Birch, Michelson, all the guys we just mentioned.
Well, and for Augusta Christian, something that might get overlooked a little bit is they've given up some plays, but they've done a great job on pressuring the quarterback when they have tried to run those long routes down the field, really applying that pressure to scare him enough to where he doesn't think he can, one, get his feet set to throw the pass, so he scrambles. So definitely want to give Augusta Christian credit on that.
Well, Brandon King, number 2, has only caught 1 pass tonight, and he is a dangerous customer. He's getting looks from App State, Coastal Carolina, and here goes June. I tell you what, he can run the football.
Both quarterbacks have done a terrific job of running the football during this game, really getting those first downs when they need them. When it seems like they can't get anything to work, they figure it out.
Yeah, the fairway forward first down for Laurence Manning is Adam Bussey. Again, Chad talked about him earlier, being called into duty to try and slow down the pass attack, and he's in there at safety and makes the tackle. So Laurence Manning trying to stay in this thing. They're down by 21. Wilson and Michelson swap sides. Wilson nearly got his big hand on it. They're going to throw a trick play here. Double pass. And
almost.
It's incomplete.
I mean, he caught it, and it just went through his hands. The momentum of him trying to dive and make the catch, that was almost a incredible catch.
I think the officials may be talking about was that pass a forward pass. As Nathan pointed out, it was pretty close. They nearly had King downfield for a big play, though. Let's see. Well, no, it was right. It was right on the line, but he had King wide open, and King nearly made an incredible catch. If he hits him in stride, that is a touchdown. A good pass, and that was a score. So they've tried a couple of trick plays tonight. That one was wide open as Augusta Christian again shifting their line on defense. Looks like Brooker may come on a blitz here. And they fake the pitch. June scrambling. June in trouble. He's going to be brought down. Blackwell's got him. And Blackwell slams him to the turf.
And just a great job of staying home, not trying to make an incredible tackle, just staying in front of the quarterback, letting him kind of act like he's going to shimmy and shake, but making the play.
Well, he's rushed for well over 160 yards and 2 touchdowns. He also has 2 sacks tonight. And Tyler June a little frustrated. Third down. Augusta Christian, like you said, they did a good job staying home there. They did not follow the pitch at all. And because really the man that's hurt them running the football has been June. So they're not scared of the pitch man that much. Now he's going to throw it. He pump fakes. He's got Wilson chasing him down. June going to keep it. And again, it's Blackwell. And again, slammed to the turf. Oh, and a flag is now thrown.
And it looked like,
I think this might be on Laurence Manning. I know they wanted a late hit on Blackwell.
On the previous play as well, it seemed like it was after the play. I mean, he was already in motion of tackling him, but as you know.
Line warning.
It's a sideline warning on Laurence Manning.
When it's against your team, you're going to usually think that something's wrong, but.
So 4th down, they're going to have to punt it away. Bussey is back deep, and he's only at the 45 of Augusta Christian, so the Lions should get good field position here. They fake it. They throw a screen pass, and it's not going to be a first down. They completed the pass, but they are short of the first down marker. So the Lions get the stop, and they're going to get great field position.
And for a team that kind of had it going on their one touchdown, it really seemed like they finally figured it out and woke up a little bit.
Yeah.
Laurence Manning really rough in the second half.
Well, and here comes the Lions offense again. And they are a perfect 4 for 4. Every time they've had it, they scored a touchdown. Augusta Christian trying to improve to 9-2. And move their way into the Final Four, the state semifinals. And it looks like they're going to bring the freshmen in, after a busy defensive stand there by Zack Blackwell, they bring in Dallas Carter, the freshman, at tailback. Christian Green. And they're going to run right behind Green. Carter going to pick up a couple. Like I said in the first half, they are extremely high on Dallas Carter. They think he's got a big future here.
Number 3, Nikki Jordan, also number 50, Landon Prescott on the stop for the Swamp Cats. A gain of 2, 2nd down and 8 for Augusta Christian.
Augusta Christian trying to add to their lead and put this thing out of reach almost. Brooker throws it. It's caught by Sullivan. Here goes Sullivan. He already has 2 touchdowns on the night, and he's going to be thrown out of bounds. But he is inside the Augusta Disposal and Recycling red zone.
Number 7, Bryce Accord on the stop for the Swamp Cats. It is a State Farm first down, AC.
There you see Mikael Stevenson with the catch. His 4th catch of the night. 3 catches, 36 yards, and 2 scores in the first half. Blackwell back in there. Brooker going to hand it off. Blackwell running behind Green, and he's going to pick up about 4 or 5.
Good tackle there. That was probably the most aggressive tackle we've seen all game.
Yeah, number 19, Chapel Brogdon.
Really came down and brought the physicality there. And that's what you have to do. I mean, when you have just a pure physical runner, he's fast, he's athletic, all those things, but he's a power back.
Yeah, the 2 keys, be physical and don't let him beat you. And that tonight, they haven't been physical enough.
Yeah.
And Blackwell's kind of had his way. And here he goes. This time they have done a good job sniffing that one out. Number 61, the man who made the play there, that's Jackson Clemens for Laurence Manning. And this is a team that, 5-3, and one of those losses to Hammond. And they went all the way to the state title game last year and returned a lot of talent. But tonight it's been all Augusta Christian for the most part. And, of course, if you have missed any of the action, you can catch the rebroadcast at noon on Sunday on WJBF News Channel 6. I know there'll be some Lion fans wanting to watch. Here's Blackwell trying to get to the outside. Oh, a great stiff arm by Blackwell. Wow.
Blackwell on the run, met first by number 50, Landon Prescott.
Mickey Jordan may not want to watch the rebroadcast.
Yeah. And that's what he's gotten so good at over the years is the selected physicality.
Yeah.
And you can get so much done with a good stiff arm. One, you got to be strong enough to do it, but 2, you can really accomplish a lot. And we've seen him a couple times even near the sideline know to pick his legs up, apply that stiff arm, pick your legs up. A lot of times they're going to be diving at his legs because he's so big. And it's just you only get that with playing time. And that's what he's done since he's been here. Just gotten better each and every year. And like you talked about, really loves working on it as well.
So it's going to be a 26-yard field goal attempt here for Nathaniel Willis. And it is going to be good. So Willis is perfect, 4 for 4 on PATs and knocks that field goal through. And the Lions lead it 31-7. 3:56 to go, third quarter. We'll take a break and come back with more Game Night Live in just a moment. And the Lions looking great tonight. 31-7, they lead it. After the short field goal, 26 yards from Nathaniel Willis. And kicking off for the Lions, it will be number 9, Gavin Hammond. Laurence Manning absolutely has to do something on this possession. And he kicks it out of bounds. Kicked it off the side of his foot. It'll go out of bounds, a penalty flag, and we'll go down to the field and get an Augusta Auto Auction sideline report in with Chad Cook.
So, guys, the first series there that Augusta Christian didn't come away with 7 points. They're really feeling good coming out of the locker room. I talked to Zack Blackwell. I said, who's opening these big holes for you? And he immediately said Christian Green, number 80, is tight end. He said he's blowing guys off the line for me. And I was blocked out on that first touchdown run of the third quarter by Blackwell. So I asked Green, I said, hey, who had the big block? Because I heard you guys say, wow, look at that block. And Green's lit up, smiled big, and he said, oh, that was me. And I said, I thought it was you. So Christian Green opening the big holes for Zack Blackwell here today.
All right, thanks a lot, Chad. Christian Green is a big advocate, I assume, like his father, of CrossFit. Maybe that's what got him in that great shape to be knocking these guys around.
Well, and that's as much fun as it is catching a touchdown, running a touchdown. Getting a pancake block.
Blowing somebody up,
It's about as good as it gets.
And it's great in the film room.
It is. And it's much like different things. You see it and you go, oh. It's one of those moments that make football so much fun.
His dad, David Green, part of this program, and local realtor, and Christian has had a great his career here. As a matter of fact, he's got an offer from Erskine to play at the next level with interest from North Greenville and Mercer. And June in trouble here as Michelson on the defense. The pass, though, is complete. Caught by Brandon King, his second catch of the night.
Good job by June getting outside that contain for Augusta Christian. That's the stuff you have to work on. You got to make him beat you up the middle. I know he's done it a few times tonight, but you cannot lose that outside contain because then the quarterback can do so much with it.
So Tyler June trying to generate some offense here, and they need a lot in a hurry. He's going to hand it off. No, he faked it. And throws it downfield, and ball out of bounds and incomplete.
Just kind of throwing it away there.
Trying to get it to King again, but Brandon King, good-looking athlete. We mentioned him, talking about all the recruiting. He's getting some interest from App State, Coastal Carolina, some good football programs.
And number 6, Garrett Ham defending for the Lions.
In a moment, we'll also recognize our punters of the game because punting a big deal around here with the Ray Guy Award, and of course Ray Guy, the Thompson great, the Sports Council, Augusta Sports Council, of course, created that award and part of the college football award show every year. There's a throw down the middle. He had a man but overthrew him.
And again, the past two plays sort of been on the run a good bit, so if you think maybe a little anxious to just make one of these passes work, maybe overdid it there as you see the receiver and defensive back doing a little chatting.
Yeah, the receiver better hustle and get set up. A little talking going on with him and Brooker. And there's a Cord, the man who was overthrown on that play. A little frustration you can tell setting in for Laurence Manning as they're at the 48. 3rd down and 10. Tyler June fakes the handoff. They throw a screen pass. It is caught by Accord. Accord still on his feet. Good blocking downfield. Accord breaks another tackle, and he's going to score. A 48-yard pass, catch, and run, and Laurence Manning on the board again.
And then they kind of remind you, they have some pretty good ball players that are able to make huge plays. And
well, he can do a little more talking now because he was frustrated to play before. There he catches it, and look at the blocking downfield, though.
Yeah, and that's
Brandon King.
A terrific job, a great receiver, but that's really where you separate yourself. If you can block as a receiver, they're going to find a spot for you, especially in the starting lineup. It's a great play. They got a long way to go, but it's plays like that that's going to get them there.
All right, let's see if they can tack on the extra point. 31-13, make it 14. And we will keep it here. 31-14, the Lions lead it on a gorgeous night at Augusta Christian. Yet Nathan's pointing out they should have gone for 2 there. It would have made it a 2-possession game, Matt. If they go for 2 and then you get 2 more scores, 2 two-point conversions, you're tied up. Instead, they need 3 scores now. All right, we got a moment. Let's recognize our punters of the game. And Augusta Christian's punter hadn't got any work in tonight at all. But
he might have gone home.
Well, who knows? He hasn't. Do they have a punter? No, they do. Of course, number 9, Gavin Hammond, a junior, is the punter for Augusta Christian, and the punter for Laurence Manning is number 10, Josh Sharp. Our punters of the game. Brought to you by Augusta Sports Council, the Ray Guy Award punters of the game each and every week during Game Night Live.
Josh Sharp to kick for the Swamp Cats.
And Sharp there, the punter of the game, going to try an onside kick there. And did Laurence Manning get it? Both sides pointing that they have it. And it's going to be Augusta Christian football.
Augusta Christian.
Sharp with a nice onside kick, but the Lions come away with the football. At the bottom of the pile, I believe, was number 41, Brendan Wiley. And the only tough thing with the onside kick, if you don't get it, the Lions have the ball at midfield, and They've almost been unstoppable tonight.
And we'll see for Laurence Manning if they really pack it in and just sell out to stopping this run and stopping Zack Blackwell.
There's Christian Green we were talking about, the tight end, number 80. Lined up in kind of an H-back position. And Bussey on the move. And here's Blackwell. Blackwell breaks to the outside. Blackwell makes one man miss. And he tries to stiff arm the defensive back, and he goes out of bounds, but not before he picks up another big gainer.
Blackwell picks up a first down.
Again, just surprised not seeing that Laurence Manning team really tighten the box.
12-yard gain.
Again, they have swapped the plays up pretty good, but you're going to see Augusta Christian run this football and get into this fourth quarter and get that clock started.
Blackwell spent his freshman year at Greenbrier. He now has 25 carries for 212 yards and 2 scores. He's got 2 sacks on defense and a host of other nice plays there as well. And here's Brooker. Brooker looking downfield. He's going to throw it. Got a man down there. It's Bussey. Oh, and a nice defensive play. Wow.
Yeah, came in screaming over. Perfect timing.
Trying to see who that was that made that play defensively.
Because that was gonna be caught for a touchdown.
I think it was Nathan's pointing. I think it was number 8. Let's see if great shot on the instant replay, guys. Number 8 making the play. That's Hart Sanders, and what a play!
Safety touchdown.
Yeah, safety coming over because the corner King was beat on that play. And Brooker's been on the money tonight. They go to Blackwell again, and he's going to pick up short yardage, but another good carry.
And you kind of see that's been what a lot of, when you're going against a bigger back, it used to be you wrap them up and you take them down. Now everybody wants to hit you with power so that you kind of launch yourself into people, especially like Blackwell. Because he is so big, you need to offset some of that motion a little bit before you can wrap them up. But as you see right there, when you're not wrapping up, you're still going to get that positive yardage.
Well, and the problem, too, is the clock's running. You're down, 17 points, clock going, and Augusta Christian's going to pick up a quick 5 here on the all sides.
And just a couple of times a game, you just throw in that hard count.
Dead ball.
Again, you're making the defense have to think about something else, have to react to something else besides getting in tune with trying to stop that run and really getting fully into the game. That's how you catch them. Catch them off sides a couple of times. Now you're back in their head about listening out for hard counts.
Well, it's 3rd down and about a yard here. And who else but Zack Blackwell? And he might be stopped. He is. Blackwell is stopped for a loss. So it will be 4th down and a nice play that time. First, Mickey Jordan. The only other time we've called his name, it was when he got ran over by Blackwell.
And you'll see them go for it here, I would imagine. They're kind of in between area here.
Yeah, he gets a little revenge that time, does Mickey. Mickey Jordan with the tackle, and now it's the Ken Nugent 1 call, that's all. And, well, it's 4th and about, you can call it a short 4, long 3.5. I don't know. Do you go to Blackwell here and play it safe, or do you fake it and maybe dump a pass off?
They picked up a first down on a 3rd down earlier in the game, about similar distance. I think they're gonna obviously go with Blackwell, which they did.
Well, they faked it to Blackwell, and Sullivan picks up the first down. They used Blackwell as a decoy, similar to the way they did earlier. This was different than the reverse they ran with Bussey.
This is
almost like a counter. Yeah,
this is a counter run.
Yeah. As you watched, everybody went that way, and it opened it up for Sullivan. Kel Sullivan having a big night as well on our Busby's Heating and Air Instant Replay. Can't say enough about the crew from WJBF. Each and every football, Friday night, they are out here early, out here lunch or before, and they stay out here to nearly midnight. As here goes Blackwell, and Brandon King saved another touchdown. So good pickup for the Lions. But, yeah, they come out here and set everything up, make our job very easy. And just like a moment ago, we mentioned it was a good play by the safety. They pop up the instant replay, and we get to see it. They just Johnny on the spot all year long.
At the conclusion of this quarter.
So we got a timeout on the field. And the Lions want to talk things over. Actually, no timeout. They're just letting the clock run. So that's going to do it at the end of the 3rd quarter. Augusta Christian leads it after 3 quarters of play, 31-14. We are back with the 4th quarter in this Skeeza playoff matchup in just a moment. And we are back at Pride Valley. Augusta Christian looking superb tonight. 31-14, and they're knocking on the door again. They pitch it to Blackwell, who's having a monster game. And he is going to be brought down, but not before he gets inside the 5, down to about the 2 or 3. That puts Blackwell over 230 yards rushing tonight.
From the 4-yard line.
We mentioned he was closing in on it. 2,000 yards on the season. So Brooker goes under center this time. I formation, we saw him earlier with that. They hand it off to the fullback, and he's going to power his way in there, I believe. Let's see. It's a touchdown. Number 33 in the crowd and everybody loving it. Andrew Thompson, and I known this kid for a long time, and you talk about somebody who puts in the work. He's a solid defensive player for this team, one of their top tacklers, and he was a lineman his whole career. And, man, he transformed his body, became a linebacker and running back at the middle school age. And, you know, now you saw how happy they were for him because they know how hard this kid works at it. And like I said, on defense, 4th or 5th on the team in tackles. And the kick is up. It is good. And the Lions getting it done here. 31, make it 38-14. Augusta Christian on top. And we'll take a time. We're going to keep it right here. Matt, this Lion offense looks pretty darn good tonight.
Yeah, really good. I mean, again, the consistency. Each drive, they're running the ball, they're passing the ball. They're spreading it out, getting other people involved. And just how they've been able to kind of keep their foot on the gas. Again, you're excited, you're at home, playoff game. All that's great, but you've got to go out there. You know, you put in the work all week. You got to go out there and show the product and what you have, and it's a terrific product. They have so much to be proud of.
Yeah, they got a chance to make who knows, make that deep run. Of course, Hammond.
And it's got to be on games like this where they're not turning the ball over.
I was going to say, Hammond looks almost unbeatable. The difference is when Augusta Christian doesn't turn it over, they might be the team that can do it.
Right.
And can't say enough about the clean game by Grayson Brooker tonight. I mentioned in the first half he was 8 of 9. He has just been solid all game long. And it's a short kick fielded at about the 15. And Jackson Brown, the man on the run back there.
Brought down by number 28, Ian Hammond. Football fans.
So Laurence Manning finds themselves all of a sudden down 24 points. They have just not had an answer defensively. They've looked okay at times on offense, thanks to the quarterback, Riley June, who has a couple of touchdown passes and a couple of nice runs. And speaking of that, in just a moment, we'll give you our QBs by the quarter for quarter number 3. And that pass caught it. Looked like he wasn't ready for it.
He wasn't.
But a terrific catch by number 6, Noah Tanner, Matt.
It's a perfect throw right on his hands, right on his face mask. And
if it wasn't a perfect throw, he wouldn't have caught it.
Yeah, I mean,
he wasn't ready for it.
Put his hands up, caught it. Looked like he did it on purpose, but, man, that is so hard to do.
Yeah.
You've not seen the ball coming right at you.
Yeah, that's the quarterback throwing where he's going to cut, throwing it where he's going to be, and the receiver turns and the ball's right on top of him. And that is Riley June with another completion. And he's looking to throw again across the middle. Got a man. It is caught. That is Jackson. That is Jackson Brown. Through 3 quarters of play, our QBs by the quarter brought to you by Culpeper Ace Hardware and Lumber Company. Riley June, 6 of 12 for 120 yards and 2 touchdowns. And for Grayson Brooker, 9 of 12, 86 yards and 2 touchdowns. And again, the key stat for Brooker, no interceptions, no turnovers. Riley June looking to throw. Pump fakes. Now he's running for his life. Wilson, who's been chasing him all night. This pass is caught by Brandon King. King is going to score. Brandon King is going to score. It's the third touchdown pass of the night for Riley June. And we've got a player down, an Augusta Christian player down on the field. Not sure who it is, but Brandon King, you see on the replay, Riley June running for his life, but he made a heck of a throw. Wilson, Michelson and company chasing. And it looked like the two players for Augusta Christian ran into one another as King scores the touchdown. So they tend to the player on the field here. We'll take a quick break while they tend to the player on the field with the injury, and we will come back. Augusta Christian on top, but Laurence Manning making it a little tighter. We'll have more when we come back. And happy to report as we come back, the Augusta Christian player injured looks like he's going to be all right, being helped off the field, but I think it was number 8 for Augusta Christian who was banged up on the play. And so they're going to go for 2 to try and make it a 16-point game, which we were a little surprised they didn't do earlier. And, a huge hit. Oh, my word. The kicker, Nathaniel Willis. That's our hit of the game and maybe the hit of the year from the kicker.
He said, what you talking about?
I do more than kick, my friend. Watch this hit. Boom. Yeah, Pat McAfee, the famous podcaster now, but former kicker in the NFL, former punter. And Nathan pointing out he'd be super proud of that hit.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was almost like he started celebrating before he even hit him, though.
Riley June, who's Nathan and I were talking during the break. That kid's a player, folks. He can throw. There are a lot of schools, Nathan said, that wouldn't mind having him. He's dead on. That kid can throw the football. He can run. He's tough. But right there, he took a shot. 38-20, the Lions lead it. And again, this is what shows you how important the not turning the ball over. Laurence Manning can score. They've shown that. Augusta Christian, if they have turnovers tonight, this is probably a tight game or they're losing.
Yeah.
But the fact that they haven't turned it over has been a big key.
They've gotten the biggest key, and then they've also gotten a little lucky with Laurence Manning just sort of floating in and out of. Like, they have the players that can compete with Augusta Christian. They could win this football game. But it seems like at times they either get disinterested or they just run some different weird plays.
Yeah, they just haven't been able to. One thing, they haven't been able to stop the run. That is two things. You're not stopping the run, and then you're also not stopping the clock.
Augusta Christian has been very consistent, and that has affected Laurence Manning.
So, and they're going to try an onside kick here again, and it is bobbled by Augusta Christian, but I think they still ended up with it. So Augusta Christian gets the football. And that was recovered, Matt. That ball was recovered by the player we were talking about a little earlier. Number 2, Aaron Gregory. He's the nephew of the former basketball great William Avery that played at Duke, played at Westside. He is an 8th grader out there recovering the onside kick. Going to be a heck of a player here.
And it's crazy how sometimes there's just athletes that can do it and they can compete. We had one. It was on the basketball team when I played here. He ended up going to North Augusta to star and actually got a scholarship to Hawaii. But Brandon Satcher, as an 8th grader, played on our varsity basketball team.
Yeah, he ended up being a heck of a quarterback at the high school later. He was the first really good, read option quarterback. The spread offense. He was the first really good one. He could run it. And there'd be weeks where he'd have 275-yard pass and 175 yards rushing. As we got another banged-up player here. Augusta Christian, 38-20. They lead it as they try to advance in the SCISA playoffs. And, again, this is our final broadcast. And this year has just flown by. We were excited to be able to do a playoff game this year. We got a lot of stuff still going on, though. We got football Friday night tonight with Brendan and Colin Cody, Brendan Robertson. You can catch all the action at 11:35, the only area show dedicated for 30 minutes to nothing but high school football. And then we've got more stuff to come because we've got the All-CSRA team, WJBF, the most prestigious team in the area because it's one player for one position. And we've got Border Bowl coming up. Nathan Edwards has been working like a madman trying to come up with the all-time stats and stuff like that for the Border Bowl. And we are excited. Zack Blackwell, by the way, one of the players that will be in that Border Bowl. So a lot of stuff still to go, even though this will wrap up our Game Night Live broadcast. And there you go. You can see this game at noon.
And if you've not been to a Border Bowl, I can't stress enough how much fun it is.
A lot of good players.
It's a terrific atmosphere. It's so many great players, and it's so much fun to watch, especially guys like Zack Blackwell. Now, this year he got to do it when they got to play ARC and some other teams.
Well, think about Zack Blackwell now. You throw Brooks Pangle in at quarterback.
Yeah.
And, man, there's going to be some fun players to watch in that game.
Always a terrific game. The guys love competing and getting to hang out with each other all week while they practice. It's just such a fun event.
Caleb Hutchinson, the great defensive back we saw last week from Westside. By the way, his performance recognized as one of the top 5 in the entire state. 14 tackles last week, 2 tackles for loss, an interception, a fumble recovery, and 4 catches for 56 yards. And Westside, of course, locked up a home playoff spot. Blackwell with another carry. He is approaching 30 carries. And not sure how the helmet came off, but the official getting the Augusta Christian player off the field because his helmet did come off. He's got to come out for at least a play. The penalty flag is down. And that might be the mustache of the year right there.
Well, and I'm glad you're addressing
that. That is strong. That's Raleigh finger strong there.
Well, usually somebody has a mustache like that.
Usually it's glued on or taped on.
Well, usually they're
not real.
I take that person as being in charge. Whoever has the biggest mustache in every room technically is in charge.
Well, he's in charge. He's done some work on that one too. He's had to shape
he's proud
that thing, and
he's proud.
It looks good.
Yeah, it's one of those things he probably doesn't talk about, but he styles it so perfectly. So this is where we're at.
They're waving the flag off.
Well, they did a good job of jumping in there and making sure before anything might happen, which is obviously what you want, especially in a playoff game. You don't want to potentially lose anybody for any amount of time.
So they're going to talk to the coaches a little bit about what went on there, and just so they're straight with it. And the Lions have 3rd and about 4, maybe 5.
3rd down and 5 for the Lions.
Augusta Christian with the ball. And if they have any chance of winning this football game, Laurence Manning needs a stop here. So here we go. 3rd down and about 5. Brooker motioning to his line. He has had a solid game, nothing spectacular, but he hasn't turned it over, and when he's needed a big pass play, he's been able to find Mikael Sullivan. This time he fakes the pitch to Zack Blackwell, and he's going to run it himself, and he is going to be brought down short of the 1st down. He's going to be about 3.5 yards short, maybe 4. So 4th down for the Lions. In this part of the field, they may go for it. And this might be the ball game here.
Really?
Yeah, 4th down and about 2 or 3. One call, that's all. What do you do here, Matt? 4th and about 3, maybe.
I think you dance with the one that brought you. You give it to Zack Blackwell.
So let's see.
But really, they've run it so well at quarterback. Might even get the tight end involved here. There's so many different options they can take.
Yeah, Nathan's pointing out
Green's
one-on-one with Sullivan, too.
Yeah, Green does such a good job blocking. But you can also hand it to him and have him go forward if you want.
Well, they're just going to take the delay of game and punt it away, it looks like. So Augusta Christian going to be happy with that 18-point lead with 7:35 to go. So we were wondering if they had a punter. We'll get a chance to see that happen. Well, no, they're bringing Brooker back out there. 4th and 8, they're going to go for it. Where they're out on the field, they feel like going for it, so they're going to do it here. They might try to get that 5 back because they've been able to draw Laurence Manning off twice. Now Coach Stickle wants to talk it over with a timeout. Well, let's get while we have a chance here, let's go down to the field with Chad Cook on the Augusta Auto Auction sideline report. Chad?
Guys, believe it or not, Mikael Sullivan, who's caught 2 touchdown passes here tonight, he's gone to school here since kindergarten, only started playing football last season. Started immediately as a wide receiver, grew up playing basketball. Jacob Walker, who was a star on the team last year, talked him into coming out for the football team. Also, Wes Michelson, the leading tackler on the team, a sophomore, he moved here right before his freshman season, and he hadn't played football since he was a 4th grader. So 2 of the stars for Augusta Christian have only been on the field for a short time.
Thanks a lot, Chad. Good stuff there. And, yeah, and Wes Michelson, I was really blown away by him in the game against Richmond. He was not he wasn't backing down a bit in that football game. I picked him as our defensive player of the game. And by the way, speaking of that, our McDonald's offensive and defensive player of the game, you'll get a chance to find out who that is following the game. And they will punt it away here. So on to punt for Augusta Christian. Hammond, I believe. Yep, Gavin Hammond. Oh, and a fumbled snap. They're going to run it. And Hammond is going to be tackled at midfield. So Laurence Manning is going to get the football. So he bobbled the snap, tried to run it, and unable to get the first down. So Laurence Manning will have the ball at midfield with 7:37 left, but they trail by 18. And Nathan pointing out that's the first time Augusta Christian has been stopped without points all night. They had 6 possessions previous, 5 touchdowns and a field goal. And what a night for Nathan Willis. 5 for 5 on PATs, a field goal, and maybe the hit of the game on that goal line hit on the 2-point conversion. Here's Riley June, all kinds of time. Wes Michelson trying to get off his block there. And pass is complete to King. Brandon King picking up things in this second half.
King's, and even on the ones that have been thrown out of bounds, the ones that he's put his hands on, he can actually catch the ball really well. You see the knee brace there. Obviously, if he's not, he's a little banged up if he's wearing that, but a very sneaky good football player King is.
Yeah, getting, like we said, getting some looks from some good programs, Coastal Carolina, App State. And Riley June, good-looking quarterback, too. Surprised he's not getting some looks. Let's see, he's going to throw it again. Now he's going to run for it. June's going to pick up some good yardage, but there is a flag down, and it's in the area of holding. So that'll bring back the run, and you see June right there. I think he's realizing it's coming back.
I got holding on White, 10 yards from the spot. Still down. 6.
So holding. And that'll bring them back. And it's a spot foul. Man, that's going to back them all the way up, all the way back to the 49.
But watch more for June to run the ball because, again, Augusta Christian coming after it. You know they have to pass. But June very successful getting some big yardage with his legs. Obviously can throw the ball well, but can definitely even the playing field with his legs as well.
And, oh, here comes Thompson, and he got him. Andrew Thompson with the sack. He just had the touchdown a moment ago, and now he gets the big blindside sack on June.
And that's what Augusta Christian did great in the first half. They gave up some plays, but they usually had good pressure on June. And once he sees 1 to 2 people coming his way, he kind of bails. He throws the ball out of bounds a lot, just trying to save the play. But great job from Augusta Christian constantly putting pressure on him.
And Laurence Manning is going to call a timeout here. It is 2nd and 31. They're down 18 with 7 minutes and 2 seconds left. And here's some of the officials' conversations. One of the officials just asked the other if he had steam coming off his head. Those are the inside things you don't get to see hear everywhere, folks. And again, just can't say enough about what a year it's been. Game Night Live. We have had a phenomenal season. So many good games, just back and forth contests, exciting finishes. I'll never forget the Washington Wilkes being down on the field. That was such a treat. Getting a chance to go to the Brickyard again, watching Silver Bluff and their outstanding running back, Travion Dunbar. A lot of fun this year. Greenbrier's incredible throw for the touchdown late against Lakeside. Yeah. It's just been a phenomenal year. Hard to believe it is coming to an end here. But here's another, and this time Michelson is going to pressure him. He runs out of the way of Michelson, but he ran into number 44, Ben Bates, who gets the sack. So Augusta Christian now coming after June.
And very effective. Again, usually if you're not great at blocking or if a team's bringing a lot of pressure, sometimes you'll move a receiver to where they can kind of be your hot pattern out of that.
Yeah. Hot route.
You see the you see the pressure coming, you have somebody behind him, you dump it off, it all works out.
And June in trouble. It was 3rd and 35. He takes a shot, and the ball is picked off. It is intercepted by the freshman, Dallas Carter. So Carter with the pick. Riley June, 3rd and 35. He was in trouble here on our Busby's Heat Against the replay. And you watch him, he's trying to avoid traffic, and he throws it. He took a shot, and then Carter steps in and picks it off.
Yeah, just trying to make a play. You know, you're down a good bit, so you're trying to do anything that you can. You're tired of taking a sack. You're tired of losing yardage, so you just try to make something happen.
And he took a hit from Zack Blackwell, who put the hit on, and then, of course, Carter stepped in with the pick. So Augusta Christian gets it back. 6 minutes to go in this one. And they hand it to Blackwell, who's going to put the finishing touches on an amazing night as he is going to take that one to the house. That is going to put him up near 300 yards for the night. We'll get you the exact stats here in a moment, but Blackwell with a long touchdown run, and that will probably do it for his night as they go up now by 24. And you see Blackwell just
and hasn't really had, you know, a big run like that, like he's used to all during the year, having some really long runs. But right there, rising to the occasion, seeing that little bit of light, and stretching those legs out and getting that another touchdown.
32 carries, 297 is what we have him for. You got him for 3? The Augusta Christian statistician looking down said we got him for 300. And 3 touchdowns. So Zack Blackwell, over 2,000 yards on the season, 5,000 for his career. He came in with 59 career touchdowns. He now has 62. And the Lions lead it 45-20. Man, I wonder who our McDonald's Offensive Player of the Game is going to be.
Yeah, we're going to have to put it out and really compare.
The bad thing is he could be the defensive, too. He's played great on defense.
Terrific. Just an awesome way to have our first playoff game.
Yeah.
Just such a fun atmosphere.
Well, they
always love coming over here. Not able to make it every year, but when we do, the first class event, great people, just a terrific place to be.
Well, last week they rallied and scored 56 to beat Ben Lippett on senior night. Tonight, their first playoff game of the season at home, and they have played out just a phenomenal game, especially offensively. 6 touchdowns and a field goal in 8 possessions. Not too shabby. And now they will kick it off to the Swamp Cats of Laurence Manning with a 25-point deficit facing them. And one of the up men gets the kick and falls on it as he tried to run but bobbled the football. So Laurence Manning will have it here. But what a night 32 carries. We've got him for 297, but again, they've got him for 300. Wow.
Ball is spotted at the 35
Either way, pretty good night.
Yeah, pretty decent. And you get to kind of cap it off with that long touchdown run when you're just really trying to run the clock out. But
yeah, they were. I don't think he was. But Blackwell
defense is asleep a little bit. He could have also, just tried to run, get a first down, just try not to get hit. But
I know one thing I'd do.
Off.
5:55 to go up 25. I might take him out.
Yeah.
He's in the game right now. That's on defense.
A flag there.
I would probably take him out of the game. You'd hate to have an injury happen. So the flag is down. But like I said, I would, some of these guys, Michelson and obviously Blackwell, some of these folks, you might want to get them out of the game with this lead. Your quarterback Brooker's in there on defense as well. So the penalty is going to be on Laurence Manning.
On White. Be 10 yards to the spot of the foul. Still first down.
The official warning some of the players about taunting. And
still first down.
Riley June rolling, trying to throw it. Michelson's going to shove him out of bounds into the yardage marker on that replay. And now this time he does look deep and he overthrows his target.
Tyler June's pass intended for Brandon King falls incomplete. Number 16, Dallas Carter on the defensive coverage for the Lions.
And Nathan pointing out Riley June just reared back and threw that one 50 yards, but incomplete. So it's second down. Yeah, that holding call where Riley, you saw the replay where he got pushed into the yardage marker. They are backed up. Second and 20. Ball on the ground, and June's going to fall on it. You can't fault his effort tonight, Matt.
Oh, absolutely not.
Yeah.
I mean, just, again, Augusta Christian calling a great defensive game. I know we've harped on the offense and how great they've looked, and it's been incredible. But the defense, when they've had to show up, when they've had to make some good blitz calls and bring some pressure, they've done it. They've obviously thrown off Laurence Manning, who at times showed that they can make some big plays. So just all-around effort, but the defense really stepping it up tonight as well.
Well, 3rd and 28. June completes a pass. It's caught, and the receiver's still on the move. They're going to get – that's Accord. Accord's still going. He's got some wheels. Bryce Accord inside the 25 before he's brought down.
With a sure tackle right there.
By Willis.
Really bad tackling. Really bad tackling from Augusta Christian on that play.
Riley June starting to pile up some passing yards.
Well, you see the secondary member here get a little bit shaken up there, misses that tackle, and then right here, again, the wrapping up, that's what you got to do.
Adam Bussey missed that one.
The ball is at the 22-yard line.
So 61 yards on the pass play. And we've got a little debate here. Defensive player of the game.
Yeah.
Knocked out of bounds by number 33, Andrew Thompson.
We'll see Laurence Manning here just throwing together a quick touchdown strike. See Blackwell out there very animated, not wanting them to get in the end zone. Want to kind of keep this lead where it's at.
Yeah. And we were talking about maybe taking them out. They're not taking them out here. They don't want them to score.
Tyler June's pass intended for number 6, Noah Tanner, is incomplete. 2nd and 10. Pressure by Wes Michelson on the play.
See second down here. Getting a lot of success passing the ball here on this drive. We'll see if they stick with that or if they want to run to See if they can barrel into the end zone. Get some points on the board. Quarterback takes it, hands it off, right up the middle. What we thought might happen, you see that big barreling run.
Number 5, Nolan Osteen
Kind of sneaking
on the
up,
run.
getting some
Brought
extra
down by
yardage,
number
but
33,
third down it is.
Andrew Thompson.
We'll see if they get June on the move and try to
Also in on the stop for the Lions.
open it up to where he can run it or he can pass it.
Down.
Making our final touches on the offensive and defensive players of the game.
Yeah.
Presented by McDonald's.
That was tough. The offense not, but the defense pretty tough.
Pretty tough.
All right, Riley June and company trying to score, make this thing look a little more respectable. He's rolling out. And he's running for his life as he's done a lot tonight, and it's incomplete.
So now it's fourth down.
Intended for Brandon King is incomplete.
So fourth down.
Pass broken up by number 14, Adam Bussey.
276 yards passing for Riley June tonight. And now I will say this, a lot of it's been by the runs after the catch by his receivers. They've been outstanding tonight, right? Bryce Accord and that kid right there, Brandon King. And also number 6 as well, Noah Tanner. Those 3 receivers aren't bad. So Laurence Manning going to call a quick timeout here. And again, another reminder, don't forget to follow all the scores and action from tonight's football play around the area with Football Friday night with Brendan Robertson and Colin Cody, 11:35, and a little cold night. Cozy up and watch the highlights from all over the CSRA. Some great games going on, including playoff action for North Augusta, Barnwell, and a few other teams in South Carolina.
It's so incredible how they get all the footage, because I at one point did that. Let me tell you something.
Hey, if you haven't been inside a TV studio,
it is. It's like election night.
Between 10 and 11:30.
Yeah.
It is wild.
Football Friday night, it's much like an election night, just people everywhere trying to get information, trying to make sure it's good, it's valid, who won, who did what.
Yeah.
Again, everybody's out there just not driving the speed limit, going to all these games, sometimes 2-3 games to get some footage and then get it back and upload it and throw it all together for a great 30-minute highlight show.
Riley June going to throw it. Got a man. He overthrew him. Incomplete, and that will turn the ball over to Augusta Christian.
Augusta Christian will take over.
So with 3:33 to go, the Lions have a 25-point lead and the football. And let's see if we see some of the starters get a rest here. And I don't say really a rest. It's just you don't want to get them injured for the next game. But it looks like if they keep them on there. Yeah, Blackwell, all the other players went in the huddle. Blackwell, I don't think, would go over there because he was scared they wouldn't let him walk back out.
Right.
And they're leaving him in there. And Brooker's coming out too. Well, if he runs it in from here, he'll be close to 400. So, and movement up front.
Prior to the snap, penalty flags.
So it'll be half the distance. You know what? They might have done that on purpose. Maybe they're trying to let him get 400. Back it up to the 1 and let him run it.
False start against Augusta Christian.
So one more half the distance and you'd be at the 1.5 line. One more after that, you'd be at the half line. And then that would
at the 3-yard line.
Break a 99-yarder. And they do give it to him. And he does make one man miss, going to the outside. And, he just slides down, going to let the clock run.
Number 7, Bryce Accord defending for the Swamp Cats. The pickup of 3, 2nd and 7.
Well, he picked up 3 there, 2nd and 7. But that's what you're going to do if that's what you're going to do, you might put somebody else in to do the sliding. And he had 5 there, so he's over 300 tonight. And they're going to give it to him again, and this time he breaks another tackle. He's up across the 10.
Stop by number 19, Chapel Brogdon.
He's going to be close to a first down. Or actually, let's check that. He forgot about the penalty, so it's going to be 3rd and 3. 3rd and 3. So 12 more yards. That gives him 3:09. .309 on 34 carries for Blackwell. 3 touchdowns. Kel Sullivan, 2 touchdowns catching as well.
30-plus carries is just something you don't really see a lot of. Certainly you see it in some high school football, but 30 carries, you know, outside of it being a lot. I mean, for a running back is a lot and just not a number you see. With quarterbacks running now more and all the passing.
I think he'd be happy with 50.
Oh, yeah.
Timeout, Laurence Manning.
So Laurence Manning going to call a timeout here with 2:01 to go. And, well, we, of course, thank all the folks behind the scenes doing the honors this year and, you know, all season long with WJBF, the crew. Just a phenomenal group. Of course, Matt Lane with me in the booth, down on the sidelines for most of the year. Chad Cook tonight doing a phenomenal job for the 2nd straight week down on the sidelines, and we'll see him in the post game. Nathan Edwards, though, is, you know, kind of the glue that holds all this together. I mean, our spotter and statistician, and there is not a better one around. The SEC or NFL be hard-pressed to find somebody better. And he does a phenomenal job for us. And you just can't say enough about that crew. And then, of course, our director, Kyle Thomas, Hannah Diarco on replays, Josh Recor, the graphics, Jeff Singleton, audio, camera crew, Darius Davis, Zach King, Brayshawn Glover, Zarabian Riley, our field grip, Antonio McFarland, Brandon Heath on the sidelines is down there with Chad, and our red cap tonight, Scott Skadden, who does so much behind the scenes for all these broadcasts. And then the master control, Levi Crawford, as always.
Levi.
Yep. Pushing and shoving going on there.
Penalty flag on the play.
And as Nathan's pointing out, 11 seasons now.
Wow.
Game Night Live.
I remember our first one.
You were just a young pup. You were a young pup back then.
Yeah. We did them on Thursday nights.
Now you're an old dog.
Grizzled.
We did the first
Grizzled
2 years were
yeah.
Thursdays, right?
Mm-hmm.
First 2 seasons we did them on Thursdays and moved to Friday nights. But like I said, this year's been so cool because first off, you know,
where did it go?
We had the bad weather the first game, and then after that it was phenomenal. We had
crazy.
Great matchups week after week, it seemed. We had great performances. Yeah, the crowds have been, you know, having the crowds full and that, you know, being on the field. I mentioned that Washington Wilkes game. That was so fun broadcasting from down at field level. You obviously can't do that every week, but it was cool to do it there. Yeah, we had a couple of really good finishes. Greenbrier Lakeside, the long touchdown from Pangle to Driscoll that won that game. So Augusta Christian is going to be able to run the clock out here as they take a knee and just let this clock run. So they will advance to the semifinals. They are 2 wins away from being state champs.
And if they have another performance like this, it's going to be.
They're going to be hard to beat. If they don't turn it over, their offense is hard to stop because Brooker can throw it. They got good receivers in Bussey and Sullivan especially. They got a great tight end in Green, and, of course, they got Blackwell, who's just about as good as anybody in the state.
Brooker again takes the knee.
So Augusta Christian is going to pick up win number 9 versus 2 losses. And 2 of those wins were right here on Game Night Live earlier this year versus ARC. That was talk about good finishes. That was a good one as well. They kicked the field goal to win it. Did the Lions late in that game. And that was back when Richmond did have Curry. And Zack Blackwell is lined up at the goal line, nowhere near the line. That was kind of interesting. Well, folks, there you go. Augusta Christian is a victorious squad tonight. 45-20, they win it.
The final score, Augusta Christian 45,
And Matt,
Laurence Manning 20.
the Lions just unstoppable on offense tonight.
Yeah, terrific effort. I mean, it's going to be hard to, it'll be hard to really pick a hole in what they did on offense. I mean, so efficient, really moving the ball around to a lot of different people, but also doing what they're really good at. Zack Blackwell seems like he's ready for a postseason run.
Yeah.
The defense played fairly well. You know, a lot of great plays there, but sky's the limit.
Yeah, they
for
got
this
it.
Augusta Christian team. They look like they have it.
And we will, in just a moment, Chad is going to effort to get Andy Stickle, the head coach, and find out what he has to say about this game. And we, of course, will find out who our McDonald's offensive and defensive players of the game are. And Nathan Edwards is furiously scribbling out the stats for us. Yeah, they saying shocker on offense. Yeah, this was maybe the best performance of the year offensively by Blackwell. Maybe all around, too, because, folks, we talk about the offense. He had a couple of sacks and a bunch of tackles, too. Just a phenomenal, phenomenal game for him. And in just a moment, we're going to go down on the field as you see Augusta Christian, some final handshakes for the Laurence Manning team. By the way, Laurence Manning had a solid season, but they just ran into a buzzsaw tonight. Had no answers for Augusta Christian and what they were doing on offense. And Zack Blackwell, you know, the main party there. Blackwell, we mentioned, goes over 2,000 yards for the season as well. In a losing effort, though, our QBs by the quarter. We'll get those in real quick. Well, hold on. Are we going down on the field? Yeah, we're going to go down to the field. Chad Cook has the victorious head coach, Andy Stickle. Coach?
Coach, 8 possessions, 8 series, 6 touchdowns, a field goal. They finally made you punt at the end there. The offense was really clicking tonight.
Yeah, they, we challenged our team to be tough. We challenged our team to show a lot of toughness, and they did, especially up front. We knew it was going to be a line of scrimmage kind of game. We were able to control the line of scrimmage, and that made a difference. So.
He scored 56 last week. One touchdown game going into the half, we thought. The guys in the booth were debating on whether or not you'd take it to halftime up 14-7. I thought that was a uncharacteristic drive for tonight, a lot of ground attack tonight, but you moved it down the field through the air mostly. Tell us about that drive.
Well, we knew we had 3 timeouts, so we knew we had plenty of time to call some plays. And our kids, we work 2-minute drill every week, so they know how to get out of bounds and save time. So we're something we were ready for, So we were prepared and we did what we needed to do.
So I don't know if Trinity will be the next game, but it was such a classic here on this field last year against those guys. You played against a couple passing teams the last couple weeks. Those guys at Trinity put it on the ground. Are you anticipating that one?
I haven't heard the scores. I guess I'll find out, and then we'll get ready to go.
Okay, good luck in the semifinals, Coach. We're going to go to break, and then we'll come back with Ashley and Matt after that. Okay, I'm here with the offensive and defensive, the McDonald's offensive and defensive players of the game. Zach, we'll start with you. Senior year, you know how playoffs go, win or go home. Well, 32 rushes, 297 yards, and 3 touchdowns later, you're not going home. Talk about what it's like to move on to the semifinals.
Well, first off, I want to thank God for everything he's given me in my life. He woke me up this morning, and he gave me life, and he gave me purpose. Also, I want to shout out my linemen from left to right, Christian Green, key blocks tonight, Wyatt Altman, Jake Todd, Pierce Finley, Caden Wood, and Miss Lee Hensley. You guys are awesome, and I couldn't do it without you guys, and yeah.
Well, 1 year ago in the quarterfinal game, you had an injury and you came back with a heroic second half playing through injury. Tonight was a lot different, right?
Yes, sir, it was. It's honestly a blessing that we got to come out here probably last night at Pride Valley and send it out with a bang, and that's all I could ask for.
Now we'll move on to, we've gone with the senior first. Now we go with the freshman, Dallas Carter, the defensive player of the game, came up with a big INT. Dallas, what's it like playing such a great game, getting this great award in your first playoff game?
I just want to first thank God, thank my family, thank my heavenly brother Denver, just by helping the seniors get to where they want to get, and that's the championship.
Okay, well, Congratulations to our McDonald's Offensive Player of the Game, Zack Blackwell, and our McDonald's Defensive Player of the Game, Dallas Carter. And we'll send it back up to Ashley and Matt.
All right, thanks a lot, Chad. And by the way, Chad, if you hear me, tell Zach he actually, in that last drive, he got some more yards. 35 carries, 309, and 3 touchdowns. So you can tell him that if you want. And, folks, just a phenomenal performance by those two. It was hard to pick a defensive guy, but the freshman had the big pick, so we gave it to Dallas Carter. Good for him.
A great play. A
terrific heck of a play. Came over and made a nice play.
As a freshman.
Well, we got some other stuff we got to show you. As a matter of fact, we got to show you our hit of the game. Because we had this, if it's the one I think it is, it might have been the hit of the year. So let's take a look and see our Georgia Department of Public Health hit of the game. Yeah, here it comes. Nathaniel Willis. Oh, my word. Just a bone-jarring hit there by him. Phenomenal, phenomenal, phenomenal. And let's get to our play of the game. And you could pick from several because we had a bunch of big plays for this Augusta Christian offense. So let's find out our play of the game for tonight. And here it goes, the Powerade play of the game. Yeah, who else? Zack Blackwell, and this was the long one. His 3rd touchdown of the game, and it put this one away, and it put him up around 300 yards. He ends up with 309. Speaking of stats, let's go to our QBs by the quarter for the final time. A good effort by Riley June, the quarterback from Laurence Manning. 12 of 23, 276 yards, 3 touchdowns. He did have the 1 pick. And a solid outing for Grayson Brooker, just, doing what he needed to do. 9 of 12, 86 yards, 2 scores, no picks, no fumbles, kept it clean, and that's one reason Augusta Christian was able to get the win. And that's QBs by the quarter, brought to you by Ace Hardware and Lumber Company in Evans. Well, folks, we have had a phenomenal year with you. You can watch the rebroadcast of this game at noon on WJBF News Channel 6 Sunday. And, of course, we just thank all of you for watching all year long, whether you were watching on WJBF.com, the app, whether you're watching the replays, live, whatever you're doing. We thank you for being here. We also thank the crew. I mentioned them earlier, phenomenal all year long. They put in a lot more work than we do, trust me on this. And, of course, our sponsors. There you see them. If you get a chance to frequent their businesses, please do, and let them know you appreciate them supporting high school football. For Chad Cook down on the field, for Nathan Edwards in the booth, our spotter and statistician, for my partner Matt Lane, and for the entire WJBF crew, we thank you for watching. Augusta Christian advances in the playoffs with a 45-20 win here on the final broadcast of the year of Game Night Live. Have a good night.